Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. It's another episode, Sunrisers versus Delhi Capitals. That's the game we're going to be reviewing. Whether they lose or win, we'll always be backing our boys and we'll always be smiling. Sometimes we don't smile, but I like, it's a young team. I knew from before there's going to be losses, and there's another loss today. It wasn't as heartbreaking, but when you see former players play like that, it does give you a pinch. But I think in David Warner's case, I will discuss it. I'll give my opinion later. But yeah, he was just outstanding today. The Harsha Bhogle, I think he said it brilliantly in the presentation that he is the one of the IPL greats. He averages 500-600 runs a season. He's won a championship. His side normally comes in the playoffs almost every single year. One bad year, and he was kind of thrown out of the club, which is not the greatest thing, just because of one bad performance. So I have with me Don. He's a huge Sunrisers fan, but a great cricket analyst as well. So Don, how did you sum up this game?
I mean, it was one of when you go into this game, both teams desperate for a win. Sunrisers fifth, Delhi was seventh, and it was a matter of the person who wins has a lot more to gain than the person who loses. So Sunrise now suddenly with the way with Delhi winning now, I think Delhi is made a very strong case for making the playoffs. I think a very strong performance by them. I think the batting comes to the party when really needed. In terms of David Warner, who was fantastic today, and Roman Powell, who finally gets a chance a little bit above the order and not really a finisher, more of like a comes in the ninth, 10th over, and then we saw what he can really do. It's fantastic, for Delhi in Delhi's perspective, fantastic. A little bit of worry now starting to creep into this Delhi into the Sunrisers camp. You can tell the wickets are not coming. Some injuries, Nattu, Sundar, these are big important players that are injured, and the replacements have not done as much justice as we would have liked them to do. So. A bit of chalk and cheese for both of them. Different kind of perspectives for both the teams at this point in time. I think a lot of momentum, a lot of positives. So Delhi, some unfortunate incidents with the Sunrisers as well. When you see Kane drop a sitter, you feel like it's really not your day. When he dropped Powell off in there, and then Powell gave it back in the end. It is just unfortunate. It is one of those things that they need to take into a stride. But they need to win the next four to make any chances of making the playoff. And they have 4 out of 4. They've done They've done it in the past, so they can do it. Not really. I'm always Mr. Positive when it comes to Sunrisers. My whole life is usually negative otherwise, but that is one positive about it. But it remains to be seen. It's going to be an interesting. Game, I think, except for maybe Mumbai and possibly Chennai. I think everyone else is still in it. Although I think KKR, Punjab, and Hyderabad will have a harder time than the other 5 teams. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you look at the bowling, apart from Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who was simply outstanding, everybody else got hit. Umran Malik, again, you made a very good point. Even when he was performing that, it's a bit too early to take him to the Indian squad. He's still raw material. He has the pace, no doubt. But, David Warner loves pace. And that's exactly what happened today. I think on Indian pitches, he's not going to get bothered too much. If this match was in Lord's overcast conditions, it might have been a different kind of battle. But that's why he's always going to be a lethal weapon. But it's about wrapping him in cotton wool. You don't want him to be disheartened from this performance or the performance previously. He will get hit at times. His pace will be used, but he also has the ability to make batsmen struggle, and that's why he has to be used sparingly, but he has to be used. Everyone else, Sean Abbott, I felt that he had a decent start. That slower ball was very good, but again, it was a great wicket to bat on. For me, where Sunrisers lost the game was dropping Robin Powell like 2-3 times. You can't do that. Whether it was that Tyagi mischance at short fine, or it was that Kane Williamson sitter. Both those catches, you take that and you cut 15 runs off that total, because Robin Powell went ham in the last couple of overs, and that was the turning point for me in the game. 210 was always going to be difficult. You still expect them to fight. I felt that they fought, but the fight started a bit late. Again, you utilize the power play. If you have to look at the batting, you need to criticize the batting as well. Kane Williamson not in form. There's saying that when Warner was there, they kicked him out. Will they kick out Williamson? Yeah, he's not in form. He has a tennis elbow injury. I have to take that into consideration. I think Tripathi also kind of tapering off. We want him to come back. We saw he also had a hamstring a few weeks back. And Abhishek Sharma, he's young. It's gonna take, like, he's gonna have on and off performances. So overall, I felt that they could have still chased down the 210. They just started a bit slow, but Nicholas Pooran, man, positive. Markram, positive. I think they batted really well, and it's good to see Sunrisers have a strong middle order now and take games deep. Yes, it was over in the last over, but at least they took it till that, from 40 in 8-9 overs to 180, 190. It's a good job, and now it's just about cutting those runs, picking up those wickets, taking those catches, and then utilizing the power play. That's something that Sunrisers haven't done.
Absolutely. I think utilizing the power play has been a big problem. When it's 150, 160 to get, you can take your time in the power play. But when you have 200 plus to chase, I think you have to just go ham from ball one. And you never really know. Abhishek Sharma, he flicked out like any other day that goes for four.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it went straight to Kuldeep. And even Shashank Singh, that five wide ball went straight to Nokia. Any other day that could have gone for four. Things could have been very different. If you look at these minute details, it could have gone. It was just not Sunrisers day today, and that's why I think they shouldn't be too disheartened. With that being said, I think they definitely need to fine tune a few things. A little bit better with the ball and a little bit more focus with the bat. I think that they have what it takes. Just making it a little bit harder for themselves after losing three in a row now. So
Yeah.
it's fine. I think these things will happen. It's a younger team. If they don't make the playoffs, it's going to be heartbreaking because we went on a very, very good run. But these things will happen every now and again. You have to take it in your stride. You have to hope for the next. Hope for the best. From next game, next season, whatever it is.
Yeah, and from Delhi's point of view, Don, fun fact for you: the leading scorer for Delhi today was a Sunrisers player last season, and the leading wicket taker was a Sunrisers player last season, Khalil Ahmed. He did pick up wickets for Sunrisers, to be fair, but he used to be expensive. That economy rate today of 7.5, outstanding. He picked up wickets at the right time. He made sure that Puran didn't have partners. He bowled brilliantly well. So it's not just Warner rubbing salt into the wound; it's also Khalil. Mitchell Marshall, also former Sunrisers player, although he didn't have the greatest of games, he did pick up a wicket. So yeah, it looked like an all Sunrisers affair.
And Rashid Khan a couple of games back. So it's just been like all these ex-Sunrisers are coming back to haunt the Sunrisers side. But you have to be honest. Like if you look at it, a lot of these players are performing well against their old franchises. Whether it be about having that little bit of extra motivation to kind of just tell you made a mistake, or we saw Tripathi play against very well against KKR, or we saw against KKR, and we've seen
Yeah.
a couple other instances like that as well. So those are things you obviously
Puran and Markram versus Punjab.
put in Markham was Punjab. So there have been instances like that. So not much you can do about those things. You just have to take it in your stride. Yes, Khalil Ahmed was very good today, and actually he's actually been good for them throughout the season. He's been injured, so he's been kind of in and out of the side. But I think he's been good for them this season. Warner, saw it in his eyes. He wanted to, and whatever has happened with the Sunrisers and Warner is best known to just those two people. Between Warner and the franchise. Outside, we can sit and speculate a lot. I don't think Warner would have taken it lightly to being dropped. I'm pretty sure Warner must have created some kind of a ruckus, and that is the reason they probably didn't want to go back with him. They wanted to have a little bit more of a calmer influence on the team, and these things all happen. You can't really uh, fight that. And Warner is a fantastic player. With the Sunrisers, he's like you said, 500-600 runs a season. He gave you 850 and won you an IPL trophy. One bad season does not warrant being kicked out of the side and not being bought back. But you have to believe that the franchise saw something that they didn't like, and you have to respect the franchise. You always talk about in football, right? No player is bigger than the club. Similar to here, no player it cannot be bigger than the club. You have to just trust the franchise making a good decision for the future of the franchise, and just move on from there. We come up against Warner next time. He scores a century. Gets out first ball. It's all part of the game because now he's a Delhi player. You have to just forget that. It's going to be hard because we have that special connect with him, and with his extra effort that he's put to connect with the fans, also you just feel a little bit more attached to him, and these things will happen. But this, I think, just from a Delhi's perspective, I think Warner being in form, Khalil being in form is good for them for their playoffs hopes, and with Marsh also and Roman Powell as well. These guys are coming into form. These are the big game players. Now, if Punt can chip in, they have a strong case to make the playoffs now.
Yeah, those 3 sixes were great against Shreyas Gopal.
Yeah.
It shifted the momentum completely, shifted the run rate, and it got them on par for 200. From Warner's thing, like last year, I'll just wrap it up from my point of view. I got angry last year in April, maybe, when he was sacked as captain. Now I'm not upset about it because he's done. He's not, like you said, he's not a Sunrisers player. Whatever happened. It could have been something that he did, but I felt that at that time you do not sack the captain. I'm not talking about this time. Now it's a new auction. You have to look at the future. He's 35 years old. How many of these seasons is Warner going to give you? He's going to give you another 5, 6 seasons? I don't think so, because he's going to be 40 plus that time. You don't know what's going to happen. We've seen what happened with Dhoni, but as a foreign player, the margin for error is even smaller. So I think from a new auction point of view, it's not the worst move, but the way he was treated last year was not acceptable, because he's won you a championship. He's more important than Rashid Khan. He gives you 500-600 runs a season. He takes that team. Whoever he gets, you give him, two pieces of chalk. He'll win you the title. He'll take you to the playoffs. He's done that with numerous injuries. He's done it in different occasions, and he always steps up in the big games. So I think that I was more pissed off that he was sacked as captain more than he wasn't retained, because it was over then. And also you have to look at the future. It's fine, you lost one game because of Warner, but perhaps in 2 years' time, Sunrisers win the title with a Nicholas Puran at 28, 29. I marked him at 27, 28. Umran Malik at 24. You might win a title then. So long-term investment-wise, I don't think it's the worst decision. Right now, you're being. It's gonna happen. Like, they're quality players. Wherever they play, they're gonna hit. Like, Rashid Khan's didn't only play one inning; he also played another inning before. I think it was against Chennai. So it's not just he's attacking Sunrisers. So it's nothing like that. And from Warner's point of view, like, Harsha Bhogle did his best to try to get a reaction from him. He said like a bit like, I was pumped up for this game, but he always looked at it from a funny point of view. And also the way him and Bhuvi, Khalil and Umran Malik, all these guys, they were talking with each other and everything. It was great camaraderie. So no, I don't think he's too salty about it or anything like that. He's happy. He's in a new team. It's fine, right? Like, you're a cricketer. You want to play whoever you play for.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree 100%.
I think that I set up your player of the match.
Has to be Devi. I think as much as I hate to say it, but Devi, he was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Strong case for Khalil as well, because I think in the circumstances, I think he was 3 wickets. It's just very good job by Khalil as well in the circumstances.
Yeah, I agree. David Warner is my man of the match as well. And moving forward, tomorrow is Gujarat versus Mumbai. Top of the table versus bottom of the table. We thought it would be the flip, like at the beginning of the season, but it's Mumbai who are last and Gujarat on top. How are you looking at this game?
Yeah, I mean, Gujarat can do no wrong at this point in time. They did lose the last game and nothing worked out for them. We talked about it, but I think they would want to just keep that game aside and focus on what's been going well for them and just do more of the same. But and with Mumbai, I think right now it's obviously like it's kind of spoiling the party for them. More people, they can really spoil a few parties. With of course the first one being Gujarat, just kind of give them a little bit of a scare. They can easily finish top 2 now, but if they lose 2-3 games, suddenly that top 2 becomes a little tricky because everyone's kind of closing in, and then I think Mumbai plays Hyderabad as well. So these are the teams that they can spoil the parties for. A couple of wins for them, and just signing off in a more respectable way for them. I think the playoffs hopes are obviously gone and far from gone. So just at the point in time, I think it's just for them to kind of show and play players that they can look ahead for the future, try some youngsters and see who works out and who doesn't, and then they can plan for their next season accordingly.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. Let's hopefully we get to see Mumbai spoil some parties for other teams. That's what the best that they can do. From Gujarat's point of view, like you said, there is issues in that team we always talk about, but they're on a winning run apart from a couple of losses. It's just about getting the momentum. You don't want to lose momentum going to the playoffs. You want to finish in that top 2 and then take it from there. Then it's anybody's game, right? So I think their goal will be top 2, and then they can discuss what to do after. Your players to watch out for?
Gujarat, I guess Shubman Gill. I think he's due a big score. I think it's just by matter of it's against a relatively weaker Mumbai bowling side. Mumbai's bowling has been a question all season. So maybe get off and get a good score, big score for Gill. And I think with the bowling, I want to with Mumbai, I want to see a bit more of Tilak Verma. I think I've seen enough to be extremely excited about that kid. and see if he can continue that form in the last 4 or 5 games over the season for them.
Yeah, I'm going from Gujarat. I'm going Hardik Pandya against Mumbai Indians. I just we've seen so much against Sunrisers. Let's see some against Mumbai as well. Former player smashing it, and he's going to be batting higher up in the order than he did for Mumbai. And uh, I think with the ball as well, let's see how he can contribute. And as captain, from Mumbai's point of view, I really have only one guy. I want to see Arjun Tendulkar open the bowling and bowl to Shubman Gill. I'm dying to see this. That will make my day. We've been watching IPL for so long this season. It's been a long season. It's not. I want to see some entertainment. But yeah, on another note, I always go Ishan Kishan. I just want to see him. He's an explosive batsman. He hasn't been consistent. Want him to be a bit more consistent. And yeah, let's see how it goes. These the Indian players, the Indian team players, haven't been as effective. I'm talking about the likes of Pant, Kishan, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. So you want these guys to step up because they will contribute. Apart from KL Rahul, I don't think many of them have stepped up this tournament.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
But yeah,
Even Punt is struggling. Yeah, a lot of the Indians are struggling.
yeah.
But like we said, IPL cannot be a barometer. We have to trust the instincts of these bigger players and give
Yeah.
them a better scope,
Yeah.
bit longer rope.
Yeah, 100%. Anything last that you want to add? Anything with IPL or matches?
No, I mean just looking forward to an interesting game tomorrow and a fun packed up weekend because after the weekend a lot of teams will play 11, 12 games.
Oof.
Start to really open up you're gonna get really close. The business end of the tournament, like the commentators like to say. So a lot of things are gonna start opening up in the next week or so.
Yeah, 100%. Uh, I agree with that. Let's see how it goes. The weekend is going to be packed. It's been a very hectic IPL. There's matches every day for 2 months. So thanks for joining me. We've crossed the halfway, and now it's just about that finish, final push. I'm still praying for a super over. Hopefully,
Yeah, we haven't seen one of that
so
still.
many
Yeah.
matches we haven't seen a super over. Want to see some close encounters. Things have tapered off a bit. I felt today and yesterday was a bit closer, but let's see if we can get some momentum going in terms of closeness of matches. And it's always going to be difficult with the pitches getting slow and everything. It's always going to be difficult, but hope to see some action done. Thank you so much for joining me. I will hopefully catch you tomorrow. Make sure you enjoy the games, and yeah, always a pleasure to listen to your analysis.
Always, brother. Thank you.